Good morning, traders. Welcome to the daily webinar. For my YouTube viewers, good morning to you too, wherever you are. These videos are out, and I hope you're enjoying them. The entire weekly webinar that I put out. Yesterday, I might have mentioned something about the installment program, and I got quite a lot of messages yesterday asking me what that is about. So let me give me 1 second to do it very, very quick. We do have a training course that is live, and it's a 6 weeks training course, and it happens 2 or 3 times a year. Probably we did one this year so far, maybe only one more we'll probably do in June, maybe in June or earlier than June. I don't know. I'll see, try my best, because we have traders who are already joined us to take that course. But when you join the group, you still get the recordings of the past course to start with, and it's pretty much the same thing with slight variations in it. What we'll probably do in the next training course is a lot more practical sessions where traders actually get to show how they do their preparing of the charts, how they do their analysis, and and more training in the trading room itself. When you join the installment program, what you're doing is you're paying for the course, but you're paying in parts, right? So there are a lot of traders say, well, I don't have that kind of money to pay for the course once. I said you can pay it within a year, and if you can pay it within a year, that's okay. You join, you can start paying installment, and whenever you reach that sum, some traders pay it in 4 payments, some traders pay it in 10 payments, some traders pay it in 15 payments. It's how you can afford it. But what you get during that period is, while you're paying, you will get my daily webinar. They're more detailed than the webinars I put out on YouTube, right? So you will get those daily webinars. That is the webinar that I'm doing right now for my traders. Sometimes I might add more detail than I'll add on these webinars when they're on YouTube, right? So basically that's it. If you are interested, send me a Skype message. The reason it's Skype message is because there's a record on Skype. So if you lost it's a lifetime access you get to the group. So there are traders who have left for 4 years back when they had to do something else. One guy had to do his thesis, he finished it. He came back after 4 years and he's back in the group, right? So that record is stored in Skype, that he was there, and the conversation, and you joining and all of that. So you don't have to do anything much. You just have to say, hey, I'm back. Can you reactivate my account? And we do that. So my Skype, I think you can find it in the description. Now let's go very quick. Dollar index is still going up. As we know, we just need to break this. And there's a very good chance when they start to do this, they're never going to stop. So what you find is very small consolidation, very small impulses, small consolidation, small impulses, small consolidation, small impulse. And this could continue for a very long time. So when you see this, what you start to do is take one and hold it for a while, right? So let's say we took and we closed a lot of trades, and some of them are break even. So what we will do now is, if we take it, we'll let this go and let it pull back. We'll try to see if we can survive that pullback with a stop under the last impulse, because rarely they break the last impulse. So if we survive the pullback, then the next move that goes, you put it to break even, and it's not supposed to come back there, right? It takes a long time, and this could work its way all the way to the top, then reverse. What you would see in a higher time frame is just like one sharp move up. On the hourly is very slow. So we'll try to start doing that today in the trading room and see if we can keep some of those trades, because euro, we sold it twice yesterday. And we didn't lose any money, but we didn't really make money. Whereas if you try to keep one of these, like for example, this one, or even this one, not this one we would have closed. If we'd kept this one here that we sold, I think you could have put it in break even and keep it. We probably would still be in the trade. But what we did is close it, re-enter, and close again. So if my traders, if you took this one this morning, and I think you probably could have done that, take it here. Or what you can do now is wait for a bigger consolidation and then take it, and then repeat that, which means try to keep it through the smaller consolidations. So we'll see if we'll get the chance to do that today, and we'll go with the trade from there. Dollar index is climbing. We're looking for buys only. Silver is going down. This trade we canceled yesterday. I probably didn't take it out there. We canceled that trade yesterday, and there's a reason for that, which means we're not in the trade. The reason for that is because this was coming down really slow, right? And when it's coming down slow like this, what you anticipate is they're going to make a bigger flat here, and then you're going to drop. Now, if this consolidates here and drop, it might still likely be a running flat. So you've got to be careful with the sell here now. What we would do is, I don't think we want the buy, but we want this to go back like that. And then somewhere here, we'll try to look for the sell. even if it's a more complex pattern, which means if they come here and go back up, come and go back up, the range is what you're going to trade. You take it from the top, you take it from the top, you take it from the top. One of them is going to break, right? So I think we can start doing that. Buying it within the range, well, that depends on your skill level. It's a little risky, but it, you know, if you have the appetite for that, you can do it. Gold is one we were keeping because gold had a very complete pattern in it, right? This could have been all and they're dropping. It's still possible they can drop. Although there's a pullback here, you know, I don't know if it's going to be a bigger flat, which means if they go back up there and start to do this, then there's at some point they'll come here and start to repeat the same move here. So you just be in some kind of a more complex pattern. If this happens, we'll take out the trade. Right now, it's a still valid trade. I think you can actually still put it and keep it, and then we'll see how that goes. Because if this is a slow movement down, it's going to drop eventually. So gold, we're still in the sell. We'll just manage the trade. And this is where, if you're a YouTube viewer, you have to be careful because you don't have the rules for trade management that we use. And that might be a little complicated for you if you're taking trades with that. This one is in a big sideways move, no problem here. We'll probably give it some time and then we'll start waiting for the selling from the top. We might be getting our first flat pattern here or part of a first flat pattern, depending on how we look at this. It comes back here, do this, go there, come. I think these are sharp waves, so I'm giving it more time. Eventually it might be, you know, we will see the pattern in it. Euro still sells. Let's hope, be careful if you sell this, right? Because I think at some point we will start to see a deeper consolidation. Not a very big one, but a little deeper, which would be the best to start selling and holding it. If you're selling the same thing, you may have to just wait a little longer for it. And pound, good sell. We should continue to sell the pound, right? Same thing. This is a very nice flag, and I think we can put an entry order for the sell. So if you got that sell, you're closing it somewhere here, and you're looking for another entry, which is an entry under the low, right? We'll probably change the entry point in the trading room, which is we'll bring it higher based on how we see the structure in here, right? Aussie. Yeah, if you remember yesterday, we were not selling the Aussie. And the reason we're not selling it is because I said this is too sharp. Even if they come down, there's a good chance they'll go back up. Looks like a running flat in the making for me. This one is still too sharp. For my traders, that is still too sharp. So I think we might get either a more complex pattern here before we drop. But again, every time it comes to the top, we'll sell. Now that we're seeing it this way, every time we get a sell set up from the top, we'll take it, right? So if this starts to break, we'll go with the trade. New Zealand. New Zealand is an easy one because you're making a simple pattern. You're pretty much consolidating here. We'll go for the sell. It's not complex. They're making a flag, and I think that's a good sell setup. If it goes higher, we'll figure it out. If they make a sharp move here, it might be more of a running flat. We'll look at the structure and we'll figure it out. It has to break this low and likely to go much lower. Swiss. Swiss is going up still, which is, in the bigger picture, is getting a little strange. It's not going very far, but it's getting a little strange because I can't figure out where we put this piece in it. Right, so this is one of those patterns, and rarely you'll find them where, you know, you get this expansion top that doesn't really fit. I still think it's possible we will be looking at this, something like this, right? And this would be one up, that would be two, and this would be like a series of smaller ones going up. Still part of this has to come back and then go. It's possible, although you have that sharp move up, it's possible because I don't see where this is a contracting flat anywhere. I just can't find it. Maybe it's there. I can't identify a contracting flat. And I don't like to fix things if I can't see them. We wait and we eventually get it, right? So we'll eventually get the pattern. Any buy setup here is very short term, right? Any buy setup is very short term. There are buy setups and you can see them. I mean, you can see this. But like I said, rather than trade this, why not trade something else that has the same movement but less risk? Pound, for example, sell the pound, right? The euro might be, we sold euro a number of times, but it didn't go very far and very fast. This is not moving very far and very fast either, right? CAD, you can buy the CAD, and I think we will be buying the CAD today again. There's a flag forming here, so we'll go for that buy. Hope that breaks the top, and then we'll be expecting it to go down, right? Yen is likely going to go back up. Yesterday I spoke about that. The reason we're not selling this here because it might be a flat and going up. There is a buy setup there. I think some of my traders are in from the Asian session this morning. That's the first question I asked when I came in, and I got a yes. There was an Asian session without me. By the way, that's one of the things you should know about the group. I don't have to be there every time. So that is a good buy setup. When it comes to the topper, you'll probably get more buy setups in it, right? Remember, this is a short-term trade just to break the top. We don't expect this to go crazy up too much because we're at the weekly top. It's trying to find that weekly top, right? And if you want to understand a little more about that, stick around or watch the second part of this video where I'll be talking about Bitcoin, because I said Bitcoin is likely going to go up. And I notice, there's always that point in time when one person comes in with a crazy comment like, oh, well, it didn't go where you expected. And I'm like, dude, really, were you really watching my webinar? Do you really understand what I'm saying? Right? I remember the guy when Bitcoin was at the top was doing the same thing, right? I said, when it breaks the top, it's going to drop. It broke the top once slightly by a few pips. It came down a little. It went up back and you go, oh, wait. You said it's going to drop. Look, it's going back up. I think we all know what happened to that, right? So to my good friend who is making this comment, maybe it's the same guy, try to follow what I do. Try to understand wave analysis. It's called wave analysis. It's not a straight line analysis, right? Try to learn it for your own benefit. I know you're trolling, but I mean, you're a troll, you could still learn something. Euro in New Zealand, let's go. Okay, we're still looking for the sell. And especially now that this is coming down, I think we would try to look for the sell earlier here. So by the time it gets to the bottom, we can go for break even if it becomes a bigger flat. If this comes really, really, really slow, then we will leave it and let it go up, and then we'll look for that flat and we'll go for the sell. So it seems to be going the way we want it. We might get a sell setup today. EuroCAD. Yep. If you put the sell in this, let it go and then you put it to break even. Right? It's okay. I think the best place would have been to sell it would be here because we were looking for a possible running flat. But if that is not a problem, put it here. Keep a stop above the top in case it makes a running flat, which means this drop here, come back there, make a running flat. You should still be in the trade. Right, so this is okay. It's doing what we want to do, and we know where it can go. It will break this low. That's a good trade. Euro Oz. This one we put it to the bottom here also because we were thinking running flat, but I don't think it's a running flat. This is pretty sharp. That is a little too small. So there might be a running flat in the future. I'm not sure that we kept this. I can't remember if we took it off yesterday, but it's a really big move. If I was in the trading room, I'll take it off and I'll look for a flag. Right, although it's tagged, what I would do is take it off and wait for a flag because this is a pretty sharp move. You don't want to get into that sharp move with this going down. So probably wait for a smaller flag, wait for something like this or like this, and then take the trade. Euro Swiss, like this, you can take this one, you're out of this trade, and we're looking for a sell setup again. Now remember there are two, I think this is the Euro Swiss. Let me see, this is the one, no, not this one. This one is gonna go down. So you can go with another sell if you're out of the trade. Let's see how this goes. If it's going to go as slow as the euro is going, then we might have to survive one of the pullback. Euro yen, I think this one worked well. You should be out of this trade already and put another entry in it. It might consolidate a little more complex here, not necessarily, but sometimes they just do that little pullback, like a small correction in the 5 or 15 minutes, and they drop. So it's a good trade. We'll try to get a better entry because this move up is big. If it starts to drop earlier, we'll try to get a better entry on this one. Euro pound. Nothing here, not the buy, not the sell. If we get a sell setup, we'll take it. I want this to drop some more, make a flag, we'll sell it. Pound Swiss. Okay, if you took the trade yesterday, I think some of my traders took it from this point. If you did that, well done. Let's see if we get another consolidation here. We'll go for another sell. We're expecting it to first break these lows, this low, which we already broke, and all of these lows, which we already broke, right? I don't think it's going to stop there. Normally, they drop a little more. Like you get a pullback like this, and then you drop one more. So I think there's a chance we make a pullback here and then drop, right? And that would be probably a 4-hour consolidation. So if we get a buy setup here, short term, which means if it makes a flag for a buy, at any point this makes a flag, it's a short-term trade up because this could do something like this, come back here, go there, and then drop a bigger flag. And because we broke the low, could it be that this starts to go up? I don't think so, but we will take the trade. right? So let's look for the buy setup short term, sell setup long term to the bottom here. Pound New Zealand. Okay, so this is where you want it, and this is the interesting part. Now, this is a running flat, and I think it is a running flat. You have to be careful with these small running flats. It could also turn into channel here. Channel would mean upside, or running flat would mean downside. What you normally do, since you're at the point from where they can either break or go back up, turn to the upside, or go, break through. If we get a flag here, we'll sell. I think we're making a small running flat there. Put it to the 50. I think it's more like a small running flat. See that? Kind of like this. There are two ways you can trade this. One of it is you wait for it to break out, make a flag, and then sell. That's a sure way. Second way is if you can get it from the top coming down. So by the time you get to the bottom, you can put it to break even. If it becomes a channel for upside, we'll put an entry order above the tops and take the trade. Right now, it's not. It's more like a running flat to me. So it's more of a sell setup. Bang Yen. Yep. If you took this trade, you closed it. If you took this trade, this would have been here or here. Close the trade. I hope you managed. I think the place I would have closed it if I had taken that trade would be somewhere here. If you didn't close it on this one with an entry there and didn't close it here, you probably got to break even on this piece. So call that piece, call this your profit. That's what you got out of it, right? So good. Let's see what happens here now. Could it reverse and still be the running flat? Absolutely. Well, that means that if we get, we're using this for now, but it's still possible a running flat here. So if we get a flag here, we're going for that trade. If it consolidates here, which means it comes back here rather than a flag, you make a flat, we're going for the long-term sell. And I mean the long-term sell, way to the bottom. So this is the point where we confirm this running flat or we exclude that running flat. Right? This is the point, especially if you get a bigger consolidation. We'll know which one it is. Pankad, that sell was good. The buy would have been break even. The sell would have been good. It went to the buy first, right? So the buy would have been break even or a loss if you took it. And then the sell would be the trade because the sell would have to come back here, right? Let's say, well, if you got tagged in this sell, you closed. If you didn't close it, you had it entry there, you'd have to take off the buy if you get tagged down sell, which means you're in the sell. If you close this and you take it off and you get in the buy, well, the buy would probably be a loss, short loss there because you definitely want to get out here. We're getting another flag here, so that's a sell. That's a running flat. So that's a sell setup. We'll put that here today. And let's see, this just turned out to be a bigger flat. If any one of you took it that way, right? So now we're getting one more trade. We'll see how low that goes. On Oz, it's coming down, so we just need a flat to sell. There was one there yesterday, but let's get a bigger one here, and then we'll go for the sell. Right, and any correction there would be a sell setup. We'll probably come to break the low because this would be all the correction. Aussie Swiss, it's not going up the way we expected, but if we get a flag, we'll buy it. Which means if above here you get a flag, we'll go for the trade to the top. I think we're gonna get that. It's most likely gonna go up. I don't see this as a sell setup for now. Aussie Yen. Again, this is where it has to tell us if you took that trade yesterday, you close it for break even. And this is where we will know now. Is it the expanding flat? Or are we trying to go down more? So an expanding flat means you wait for the flag here. We don't have it. Wait for the flag here. You definitely need a 1 hour flag to confirm that upside. We'll stay with the trade. If it comes back here and consolidate, like, make more waves in here like this, well, then we'll look for a sell setup. Right now, I think we're going for the upside. Wait for a flag, get in the trade. Aussie CAD. This would be a sell eventually. It's not ready for the buyers yet. It did come down. It's looking more flat than anything. If you're trying to look for the buyer, I don't think anybody got tagged in that. I don't think we kept that. But if you got tagged, close it and then wait for a better setup. All right. That looks more like a sell, which means we would probably drop one more. If this is a deep pullback to go up, let's say this was a deep pullback to go up, wait until you break that up and make a flag, and then we'll buy. We're expecting the up move, but I wouldn't be surprised if they drop first and then go. Right? So that is possible. Aussie, New Zealand. Okay, turned out to be what we want. It is one of these expanding flats and it's going. So if you get a flag here today, go for that buy. Right? We'll take the trade to the top. New Zealand Swiss. It should go up, but it's not going up the way we want. So let's see what happens. We have to wait. It's not a sell setup. Let's see if they break that up and consolidate for downside. But if it's going up, you have to wait for it to break this top. Let me erase that. Okay. You have to wait for it to break the top, make a flag, and then go for that trade. The trade will not only be to the top, the trade will be actually for the breakout of the whole structure. So you can put this one like this now, literally. But that's where we are. And it looks more sideways than downside. It's looking more sideways than downside. So I think let's keep an eye on it. If they consolidate here, we'll sell. If it makes a flag above the stop, we'll buy it. New Zealand CAD. Same here, this broke, it didn't break the low, so there's a good chance we're going to make a bigger flat here before it drops. It has to break this low before we start buying, right? Remember that was the whole thing yesterday, right? That they would break this low and then we'll get a buy setup. So probably make a big flat, make a flat and then drop. So it might just do something like this and then drop and then go back up. So let's see. If this is going to drop, let's assume that was all the correction. And this one is going to drop. You want a flag, right? You wanted to make a flag here. And then you can take this small trade to break that low and see how low it goes before they go back up. So use a stop here, use an entry here and see if you get that trade. It's the last trade now. New Zealand yen. Okay, so I think this one also will have to tell us now if we think this is it's still possible for an expanding flat to happen here, right? We can't exclude until we get a 4-hour correction or so. So if this comes back here and start to make a bigger correction, well, then it's downside. At total, we'll go with a contracting flat in there. But if this is an expanding flat, any flag we get there will be a buy. So just wait for a flag. That is on 3 yen pairs, 3 or 4 yen pairs. We get the flag, we'll buy it. Got in? Same here. This could be the same running flat. So wait for a flag, buy. If it consolidates, this will be a flat, but it's going to be a big flat. So it will probably take a couple of days before we go. CAD Swiss. We might be making some kind of a consolidation here. So let's just wait. I don't think it's ready for the upside as yet. Swiss yen. This is the only one we don't have the similar structure. So if we get sell setups, we'll take it. This is the one you can sell if you have flags. Right now it's pulling back strong. So we'll have to wait. This trade you probably would have closed somewhere here. So take that off. Consolidating, look for buy setups. So this is for the Forex part of it. It's pretty quick. We have a lot of good setups. Keep track of them and you will see how we change any trade setup or how we manage them as we go along, right? I hope you like it, share it. I'll put the second part out in a couple of minutes.